Attention, bucket bottle cap exhibitors. First call for class 1. First call for class 1 bucket bottle class. Please bring your cap to the north end of the podium. Attention 4-Hers, second call, class 1, bucket bottle cap. Second call, class 1, bucket bottle cap. Attention 4-Hers, last call for the first class of bucket bottle cap. Last call for the first class of bucket bottle cap. First call for the second class of bucket bottle cap. Testing, testing. Okay, let's get this party started. Welcome everybody. We are now getting ready to do our bucket bottle cast. We have two classes, and let's encourage our kids as they're coming in. There's lots a lot of work out there. You betcha. Give them a round of applause. Attention, please. Teachers, second call for class. Second call, yes. Second call, class 2, second bottle care.
What's that? Second time? Spin in a small circle before you do that.
Well, welcome to this year's Sioux County Bottle Bucket Cap Show. I'm your judge. My name is Austin Rohr. I work here in Sioux Center at Transopen Genetics. I'm actually mostly a sheep and goat judge, but I also do some of these Bottle Bucket Cap shows in the area as well. And so I'm glad to be here today with you guys. It sure looks like you've worked very, very hard with your project. Last night, I actually picked up your record books. You probably didn't think anyone was ever going to look at those, did you? But I did pick up your record books, and I looked through those, and a lot of the judging today is actually based on your record books, and then also my short little interview with each of you, and then also your showmanship. So it's kind of a combination of all three of those, probably with more weight towards your record books than anything. If you continue to do this project in the future, make sure you're really, really trying your hardest on those record books and making sure you have a lot of details in there, and you have a lot of thoughts that you have down to improve upon the next year. And in fact, that was probably one of my biggest questions was, if you have a bottle bucket cap next year, what would be something you can do to improve? And so I really liked hearing the answers to some of those questions. So I have picked three of you that will come back after the second class. And then those three will be in contention to be your champion or your reserve champion bottle bucket cap showman this year. And so in no particular order, I'm going to name off the three contestants that will be staying. And again, these contestants not only did well today in the show ring, but they also had a lot of detail in their record books. Their record books were accurate, and all their answers in their record books were thought out and articulated very well. And so those are some of the things that I was looking at when I was looking at your record book. So again, in no particular order, these three individuals will need to come back after the second class of bottle bucket caps. So you can sit over here, outside the ring just for a little bit because you'll have to be coming back in. So in no particular order, we'll have Colton Rosebone, Riley Baker, and then Dana Hanson. Those three individuals will be coming back, but everyone else will be getting a blue ribbon because you did exceptionally good with your projects, and I hope to see you out here again next year. So, very good.
Entering the ring now will be our second class of bucket bottle caps.
Bucky's the only one in the straight line.
All right, well, another really good group of exhibitors here for your Bottle Bucket Cap Show. All of these exhibitors have done an excellent job making sure their caps and their projects are clean. When I asked them their few questions, they're all very, very knowledgeable about their projects, and and I would say almost every exhibitor said they would like to have another calf next year, which is great for the future of the show here. As I talked to all the kids in both classes, I think maybe one of the things that we can just continue to work on is maybe starting to get these calves tied up a little sooner and start walking them, because for whatever reason, the really tame bottle bucket calves sometimes are the most stubborn and the hardest to break to lead. And I think we saw that in this class and even the last class. So in the future, I think that's one thing that everyone maybe can think about and improve is just get those calves tied up to a gate and then start leading them almost every day, just like you would feed them and water them. So that would be my one suggestion for everyone in the future. I think that would really make show day even easier. So with that, I'm going to announce the next three contestants, the next three exhibitors that are going to be staying back for our final. And again, all of you did a tremendous job. A lot of this is based on record books once again, and then your showmanship once you are out here. So with that, the three exhibitors that will be staying in the ring will be Allison Wallinga, Trent Van Veldhuizen, and Megan Wallinga. So those three can stay in the ring, and then the rest of you will be getting a blue ribbon. Congratulations.
Okay, so receiving blues from our first class was Ben Haverhall, Jacob Haverhall, Adelie Boston, Spencer Grine, Isaac Grine, and Isaac Russ. Receiving blues from this class, Carmen Warnsies, Caleb Roosevelt, Isaac Russ, and Riley Baker and Lily Moeller. I hope to see you all back next year with your calves in the big classes. Attention please exhibitors. At 5 o'clock, I need the advanced theater cattle showmen to the ring for the announcement of placement. At 5 o'clock, I need the advanced theater cattle showmen to come to the show ring.
All right, well, we're down to our final six bottle bucket cap exhibitors here, and I think all six of these kids are here for a reason. They stood out both in terms of their record books that I looked at, and then also out here in their showmanship, and you know, when they tied the knots and tied their caps to the fence, most of those knots were pretty secure, and you know, sometimes when you go to untie the knot, you realize if you tied the right knot or not. The right knot or not. So I think all of those kids did a tremendous job. I hope that you take some of the things I said and maybe try and improve upon your project next year. But I definitely think that the future is bright for all of you in the cattle show ring. And so without any more said, I'm going to go out and fist bump your champion bottle bucket cap showman, and then I'll follow up with the reserve champion. There was just two individuals out here that I think, you know, I made notes that they had probably the top record books, and then that detail-orientedness and, you know, that kind of the passion that I saw in their record books, I also saw out here in the show ring when they were leading their calves and also when I was interviewing them. So these two individuals really stood out, and they are more than deserving of their awards today. Thank you.
We got water to bring down. Attention beef exhibitors, at 5 o'clock, we need the advanced theater cattle showman to the show ring for handing out of the ribbon. At 5 o'clock, we will need the advanced theater cattle showman to the show ring to hand out the ribbon. We will then start with our breeding feed show. We'll first call for our Angus breeding heifer.
How would you like them to walk in? They're going to be coming in their foot and going up there. Kimmy.
Oh, I am talking so slow. First call for Angus.
There's nothing at the bottom.
Testing, 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 testing in the beef barn, testing in the beef barn.
Yes, Hey, we're after. we're gonna do the Nancy Cattle Awards first. And then we'll go straight into one. Okay, I didn't know if you wanted to wait some.
I know.
With the ribbon, if you just miss all the girls. Normally, the first and second is will be a big, we have a really big red of it. Whatever you feel like.
Attention, 4-H exhibitors, advanced feeder, cattle showmen to the show ring, please. Mitchell Fetter, Carter Dickman, Elijah Dickman, Eric Clendon, Alan Berber, Mitchell Berber, Lexi Van Kickerick, Austin Van Kickerick, Angel Whitfield, Megan and Allison Williga. Come to the show ring, please. We are announcing the ribbon placements for advanced feeder cattle. Second call, purebred Angus breeding heifers. Second call, purebred Angus breeding heifers. First call, Keith breeding heifers. First call, Keith breeding heifers. Okay, we are ready to start the next part of our program. In front of you here are our advanced feeder cattlemen, showmen. That is absolutely the root of what we are in this business for, is to get those cattle to the market. You'll call my husband and tell him he's got to butcher that sucker so we can check out them ribeyes. And so we're going to start with our placing. Our first place this year is Swindle. Wave your hand, yay! There you go, you are our first place. Okay, and our second place. All right, we have a pair of Van Kickericks. You are second place. Awesome job. And the rest of you will be receiving blues. Craig does want to talk to you and give you a little bit ideas as to what you got for numbers. Because I don't understand. He just tells me to come out here and hand out the ribbon. So, do you have any words of wisdom for them, Craig? Nothing. Keep up the good work. Thank you, guys. Give them a round of applause. Attention for a feeder. We are done with advanced feeder cattle. We are ready to start the breeding feed show. Last call for the breeding heifers, Angus. Last call for Angus breeding heifers. Second call for the key breeding heifers. First call for the Hubbard breeding heifers. Okay, we are ready to start. I am going to give a little bit of talk about who our judge is. Our judge today is Sterling Kappas. He is from Aberdeen, South Dakota. Him and his dad have feedstock Simmental operations. He is an FGSU graduate and was involved with livestock judging when he was there. And he works for Hubbard Feed and has his operation is in the northeast corner of South Dakota. Let's give him a Sioux County welcome.
Watch out, watch out.
I like the heifer that leads off this first class. Does so pretty handily, just in terms of femininity from the side. I really like how refined she studies about her head and neck. She's really bold and dimensional to the center portion of her body. I think when you set her into motion, she offers plenty of flexion and reach off both ends of her skeleton. Young lady's heifer that comes in second today, I think mirrors my class winner probably the best in terms of the three heifers left. I really like her center rib shape. She's extremely bold through her lower and upper rib. Heifer that when you get in behind her offers plenty of power. I guess for me, I'd maybe like to just freshen her up a shot in terms of conditions and maybe give her a shot more reach out of her hip when she's set into motion. The young lady's heifer that comes out in third here, one thing you certainly have to appreciate for her length of spine. I really like how long-bodied this heifer is, and I think she too offers plenty of maternal shape to the center portion of her body. I guess for me, she just gets a little softer right behind her shoulder. I think she tends to be a little harder in her forerib than the two contemporaries in front of her. And I'd like to just level her up out of her tail head as well. The young lady's heifer that comes out in fourth, a nice female in her own right. I think today she just gives up too much in terms of overall power and dimension to compete with the other three in class. But let's give these four exhibitors a nice round of applause.
Attention beef owners. Second call, Hereford breeding heifers. Second call, Hereford breeding heifers. First call, mini Hereford breeding heifers. First call, mini Hereford breeding heifers. First call, Red Angus breeding heifers. First call, Red Angus breeding heifers. In our first class, Angus purebred breeding heifers. First place went to McKenna Claveringa. Second, Grayson Coonan. Receiving blues, McKenna Claveringa and Taylor Claveringa. In the ring now is our key breeding heifer.
A nice single entry here in the Canadian division. I really like how a stout pin this heifer reads from behind. I think she offers a tremendous amount of shape through her lower stifle. When you study her through the center portion of her body, she's really bold through her lower rib. And then a female that you certainly have to appreciate for how flat-shouldered and refined she is about her head and neck. And one that when you set into motion, I think at the ground, she's awfully flexible. And maybe like to see her just be a shot squarer out of her hip when she moves. I think a nice single entry that can stand some competition later on. Congratulations.
Exhibiting our key breeding heifer was Connor Ullman. Entering the ring next will be our purebred Hereford breeding heifers. Attention these exhibitors, second call, many Hereford breeding heifers. Second call, many Hereford breeding heifers. Second call, Red Angus breeding heifers. Second call, Red Angus breeding heifers. First call, Shorthorn. First call, Shorthorn breeding heifers. And first call, Shorthorn Plus breeding heifers.
I think the young ladies, August heifer, wins this Hereford division pretty handily. I really like how bold she reads right out of the backside of her forerib, and she carries that back to her rear ribbon flank as well. When you study her up high, I think she offers a tremendous amount of shape and reads with plenty stout enough out of her pin set. I really like how big-footed and the amount of circumference of bone that she stands on at the ground. I think a heifer that's going to stand some competition later on in the day. Young man's heifer that's going to go ahead and be second today. You certainly have to appreciate from a frame standpoint. I really like how long and extended she is from the side. A larger frame kind of heifer. To me, I'd like to see her just a shot bolder at the base of her rib cage, and I'd like to see her use her hawk and passer with a little more freedom when she's set into motion. Let's give those two exhibitors a nice round of applause.
Exhibiting our first place Hereford breeding heifer was Reagan Jansen. Our second place, Isaiah Smith. Entering the ring now will be our mini Hereford breeding heifers. Attention beef exhibitors, second call for the short-horn breeding heifers. Second call, short-horn breeding heifers. Second call, short-horn flat breeding heifers. Second call, short-horn flat breeding heifers. First call, scimitar breeding heifers. First call, scimitar breeding heifers. First call, second year feeder calf breeding heifers. First call, second year feeder calf breeding heifers.
I'm going to leave these two heifers in the same order in which they came in. The young lady's heifer that's going to go ahead and start off the class, I think does so just in terms of overall dimension and shape. When you get in behind her, I think she studies with the most shape down her top line and carries that through the center portion of her body and back to her rear ribbon flank. I think a female that offers plenty of flex and reach off both ends of the skeleton when you set her into motion as well. The young lady's heifer that's going to go ahead and round out the class, I think does so just because she gives up a shot in terms of overall power. To me, this heifer maybe lacks a little bit right behind her forerib. I'd like to see her offer a little more shape out of her lower stifle. And when you study her at the surface, she's just a shot smaller footed as well. But let's give those two exhibitors a nice round of applause.
In our mini Hereford breeding heifer class, first place and second place went to Allison Lucy. Entering the ring now will be our red Angus breeding heifer. Attention for these exhibitors. Second call, limit call, breeding heifer. Second call, limit call, breeding heifer. Second call, second year calf, breeding heifer. Second call, second year feeder calf, breeding heifer. First call for the first class of crossbred breeding. First call for the first class of crossbred breeding heifers.
I think a nice single entry here in the Red Angus division. I really like how balanced this heifer is from the side. She's extremely flat shouldered. She's really bold through the center portion of her body. I really like how square she studies off of both ends of her skeleton. I think when she's coming and going, she's really true to the ground. And I think a female I can see on some competition later on in the day. Let's give this young man a nice round of applause.
Exhibiting our red Angus breeding heifer was Dawson Noonan. Entering the ring now will be our short horn breeding heifer. Attention these exhibitors, if you were first or second place in a breed, please check in at the door and of the show ring.
A complete made shorthorn female here. I like how long spine she is. She's really soft to the center portion of her body, and I think when you set her into motion, she offers plenty of flex and reach off of both ends of her skeleton. Let's give this young man a nice round of applause.
Exhibiting our short-horn breeding heifer was MacArthur Cinnamon. Entering the ring now will be our short-horn drum breeding heifers.
You know what? You can sit here. You can sit here next to Cindy.
I think the young ladies heifer that wins this division does so pretty handily. I really like this heifer from the side. She's extremely feminine about her head and neck. I love how bold and deep she is through the center portion of her body. You get in behind her and she studies really square out of her hip and offers us a tremendous, and travels with a tremendous amount of flexibility as she moves around the ring. The two heifers in second and third here, I think both need to be fixed in terms of structure. I'd like to loosen them up off of both ends of their skeleton and lay them back in their angles. But with that being said, young lady's black and white heifer, to me, offers more depth and shape to the center portion of her body. And from the side, I think she just reads to be more feminine. Young lady's heifer that comes out in third, you certainly have to appreciate for her length of body and frame that she does offer. I'd just like to pull her down at her forward and rear rib and flank to move her up any further today. But let's give those three exhibitors a nice round of applause.
In our short horned plus class, first place went to Reagan Jansen, second, Grayson Kunin, and receiving a blue, Margot Straitovich. Entering the ring now is our Simmental breeding heifer. Attention please, exhibitors, second call for the first class of crossbred breeding heifers. First call for the second class of crossbreed breeding heifers. Second call, class 1, crossbred breeding heifers. First call, class 2, crossbred breeding heifers.
I think a really nice single entry here in the Simmental division. I really like how broody this heifer looks. She's got a tremendous amount of shape and dimension to the center portion of her body. You get in behind her, and I think she's really powerful out of her hip. I love her foot and bone size. A female that I think is plenty attractive enough to her front end. If you want to be critical of her, I think she maybe could move just a shot better out of her hip when set into motion. But I think one that can certainly stand some competition later on in the day. Let's give this young lady a nice round of applause.
Exhibiting our purebred Simmental was Carly Hybrid. Entering the ring next will be our second year feeder calf breeding heifer. Attention, these exhibitors. Second call, class 2 crossbred breeding heifers. Second call, class 2 crossbred breeding heifers. Attention beef exhibitors, we need first class of crossbred breeding heifers to the north end of the show ring. We need the first class of crossbred breeding heifers to the north end of the show ring.
A nice single entry here. I really like how clean front of this heifer studies. She's extremely level in her lines. I think when set into motion, she offers enough flexibility. I'd maybe like to see her just move a little bit better out of her hock, but I think a nice individual in her own right. Let's give this young man a nice round of applause.
Exhibiting our second year feeder calf breeding heifer was Tegan Smith. Entering the ring now will be our first class of crossbred breeding heifers. We have two classes of crossbred breeding heifers. We will choose the champion of the crossbred breeding heifers. Then we will be bringing in our first and second place winners from the previous classes and choosing the overall champion breeding heifer. Attention beef exhibitors, if you were a first or second place winner in your breed, please bring them to the north end of the show ring.
The young ladies after that wins this class, I think does so pretty handily. I really like how long and extended she is to her front end. She's extremely soft and dimensional to the base of her rib cage. And I think when set into motion, she offers the most athleticism off of both ends of her skeleton pretty handily of the four heifers in class. I guess if I was going to get a little critical of her, I'd maybe like to relax in her spine at times. I think she works up just a shot in terms of her spine. The young lady solid black heifer that comes in second here, I certainly like from the side. She offers a plenty striking profile. She's really refined about her head, neck, and jaw. One that I think balances up from the side pretty well. For me, when you get in behind her, I'd like to see her just have a shot more dimension at the base of her stifle. And I'd like to see her travel with more flex and reach off of those rear two. The young lady's red and white heifer that's going to be third today. I really like how stout featured she is. She's extremely big boned and big footed. One that it reads funny stout out of her pin set. For me, I'd like to see her be a shot bolder at the base of her fore rib and carry that back into her rear rib and flank. I think she needs to be maybe laid back in the angle of her shoulder as well. The young lady's black and white heifer that rounds out the class. Complete heifer. To me, I think she just gives up a shot in terms of overall femininity. I'd like to make her just a shot flatter jointed and offer a little more flex and reach off of both ends. But let's give those four exhibitors a nice round of applause.
In our first class of crossbred breeding heifers, first place went to Aubrey Van Riesen, second, Kiana Post, receiving blues, Margot Skedeman and Madison Erickson. Entering the ring next will be our second class of crossbreed breeding heifers. Then we will be choosing the champion crossbred breeding heifers. And then we will be bringing in the first and second breed winners and choosing the overall champion breeding heifer.
young ladies heifer that I'm going to start off the class with does so just in terms of structure. I think she offers the most mobility at the surface. There's no doubt she probably gives up a shot in terms of overall dimension out of her hip. And I'd like to see her maybe just a shot bolder at the base of her rib cage. I think she's plenty deep enough body, but I'd maybe like to see just a little more turn to her lower rib cage. And that's where I think the young ladies heifer in second certainly excels in terms of dimension. She's the most opened up of all three of these heifers. I really like how bold she is out of the backside of her forerib. I think she lays a tremendous amount of power down her top line. For me, she's just built entirely too far forward on her angles off her front end, and I think she needs to move a shot better out of her rear tube. The young man's heifer that comes out in third, the solid red heifer, a nice heifer in her own right. I think she reads with plenty of shape throughout, and I really like how bold she is, especially in her forerib as well. But I think she gives up too much just in terms of overall mobility to move up any further in this class. But let's give those three exhibitors a nice round of applause.
In our second class of crossbred breeding heifers, first place went to Kelsey Ullman, second Kiana Post, receiving blue Brody Hoyer. We will now be bringing in the first and second place crossbred breeding heifers and choosing a champion and reserve champion crossbred breeding heifer. Then we will bring in the whole 9 yards from all the previous classes for the first and second places and choosing the overall champion breeding heifer.
really nice lineup when we get these respective class winners in second place effort back out here for the division lineup. I guess to me, I think on the top end, it's pretty close in terms of structure. There's probably one heifer out here that just excels in terms of power and overall dimension. So I'll select your champion in reserve, and let's give these 4 exhibitors a nice round of applause.
Exhibiting our champion crossbred breeding heifer is Aubrey Van Riesen, and our reserve, Kelsey Ullman. Now it's going to take a little bit of time, but we will be having our first and second place winners from all the previous classes coming in, and we will be choosing the overall champion and reserve champion breeding heifer. Attention, these exhibitors, after the choosing of the overall grand and reserve breeding heifers, we will be starting with our senior beef showmanship.
There you go. Good job. There you go.
I think a really nice lineup from top to bottom on this grand drive to the heifer show. I think there's a lot of quality represented in every breed out here. For me, there's probably a handful of heifers that sort of just in terms of femininity and flexibility, and ones that I think offer enough shape and dimension throughout. Let's give these exhibitors a nice round of applause. I'll select your grand reserve female.
Exhibiting our overall champion breeding heifer was Carly Sebring, and our reserve Reagan Fenton. And our overall champion also is going to qualify to go to the Battle of the Blue Tips and the Northwest Iowa Showdown, which will be later on this summer. We will now give the kids just a few minutes to get reorganized, and we will be starting with our senior speed showmanship. Attention speed exhibitors, we will be starting our senior showmanship in a few minutes. Let you guys get some reorganizing done. And so in about 3 or 4 minutes, we would like to have the senior showman to the north end of the show ring. Intermediate showman, this will be your first call. First call for intermediate showman. Lauren, fine.
Come down here, right there.
Hey girls, look at me! One, two, three! One, two, three! Oh, okay, hang on, Eden, turn around! One, two, three! Eden, go down one. Down one. Okay, one more time. You hit this way. Eden, see that? Eden. Okay, ready? One more time. Okay, girls, one, two, three! That is so cute! I hope so. Tired, Got it? Baby, your corn is so big. Your corn is so big. We didn't plan on coming here.
She came running.
Yeah, you guys had a good round on Saturday.
Yeah.
I don't know what to call it.
Yeah. So, yeah. And the weather was nice, so that it's good, you know, it's kind of hard to kind of get some of the shows when it's just, you know, just the Sunday thing. So, we can do it anyway. This whole world. We got people that want to visit from Michigan and they don't know if they should stop by my work or not. Oh boy, there they go.
Attention in the beach barn. We are ready to start senior showmanship. We are ready to start senior showmanship. Second call for intermediate showmanship. Second call for intermediate showmanship.
I think a nice job by both exhibitors here. I asked them both what they thought they would change about their particular animal. I think both gave a very knowledgeable response. To me, I think the young lady with the heifer just does a little better job in terms of getting her set up in a timely fashion and does a great job of using the entire ring as she goes around. The young lady with the steer, she'll be reserve and a nice job as well. I'd maybe just say getting your steer set up just a little bit quicker next time. But a nice job with both of these two exhibitors. Let's give them both a round of applause.
In our senior beef showmanship, Aubrey Van Friesen was first and Dana Finfurter second. Entering the ring now will be our intermediate class of beef showmanship. Attention beef exhibitors, the intermediate showmanship is entering the ring. First call for the junior beef showmanship class. Please bring your tab to the north end of the showcase. First call for junior beef showmanship.
I don't know where to go.
We do have a few more programs. If you are interested in a program, they are up here by me on the announcer stand.
I think a really good lineup of exhibitors from top to bottom. I think all the exhibitors have done a nice job of showing their particular animals. For me, there's probably a handful that just get their heifers or steers set up just a little quicker, and they're always paying attention to where the judge is, and they keep a fairly straight line when they're lining up around the ring as well. I think the knowledge of all these exhibitors is very well. I asked them some similar questions that I did the seniors, and I really like the responses across the board. Let's give all these exhibitors a nice round of applause, and I'll select your top three.
Attention team exhibitors, junior showmanship is entering the ring. I will need the following exhibitors to the ring to receive champion and reserve champion rings of game. Jackson Harmon and Jacob Vandentopp. So after junior showmanship, Jacob and Jackson, please come to the show ring. In our intermediate speed showmanship, our first place was Kelsey Ullman. Our second, Reagan Jansen. And receiving third is Haley Halverson.
What happens? I seen him grab him and trust it. What happened when you open so too? Someone tried to do that and then the tail got caught the hood and stuck like tail switched.
I think a really nice job by all these junior exhibitors. For the most part, they did a really good job of getting their animals set up in a timely fashion. And I know it's with all these cattle out here, it gets a little tight, especially when they're walking around. And I think they all did a really good job of handling. These exhibitors, I asked them what they fed their particular animals, and I think there were some good answers across the board. There were certainly some that had a little more knowledge than others. But I think all in all, they did a very good job. So let's give these exhibitors a nice round of applause, and I'll lecture Thomas Reed Showman.
Was that nice and warm? It's always the best part of it. They set it all up yesterday. Took them 4 hours to do it, but I really didn't care.
Attention in the beef barn. We will be starting the Market Beef Show in just a few minutes. First call, Class 1 Market Heifers. First call, Class 1 Market Heifers. First call, Class 2 Market Heifers. Jacob Bandentop, are you close by to the show ring? Jacob Bandentop, awesome. All right. We have a rate of gain champion. Our rate of gain champion was Jackson Harmon. And our reserve champion was Jacob Bandentop. And you'll get your flags ready. Let's give these guys a round of applause. We had rate of gain was 3.46 and 3.39. Congratulations, guys.
Yeah. But
Okay, we will now start on the market and the market fees. Our first class in will be our market peppers class 1. Attention please exhibitors. Second call, class 2, market peppers. Second call, class 2, market peppers. First call, class 1, market peers. First call, class 1, market peers.
think the young lady smoke heifer that leads off this class does so pretty handily just in terms of condition and market readiness. I think this heifer offers plenty of shape right over her loin edge, and I really like how bold she is on the backside of her shoulder. I think when you study her from the side, she probably offers the most dimension and shape throughout. I think it gets a little closer in second and third. I definitely think you can go back and forth on these two heifers. For me, I think the young man's heifer just offers an advantage in terms of cutability. I really like how square she grabbed over her loin edge. I think she is the leanest heifer in this class, but with that being said, I'd like to see her offer just a shot more power and dimension through the center portion of her body and back through her lower stifle to move up any further in the class today. Young lady's heifer that rounds out the class, a nice individual in her own right as well. I think one that offers enough muscle. To me, I'd like to see her just have a shot more shape and pop right out of the backside of her shoulder and carry that throughout. Let's give those three exhibitors a nice round of applause.
In our first class of market heifers, first place went to Katie Vandentop, second Jacob Vandentop, receiving a blue Kiana Post. Entering the ring now will be our second class of market heifers. Then we will choose a champion and reserve champion market heifers and move on to the steers. Attention, please exhibitors. Second call, class 1 market steers. Second call, class 1 market steers. First call, class 2 market steers. First call, class 2 market steers.
Young man's black and white heifer that leads off this class, I think does so pretty handily. Just in terms of overall muscle right out of the backside of her shoulder, I think she handles with the widest loin edge. One that you certainly have to appreciate for how stout she is at the ground. She stands on a large circumference of foot and bone. I think she offers plenty of flexibility as she goes. Young lady's heifer that comes in second, to me, I really like how descriptive she is when you grab it right over her loin edge. I think that one's probably one of the freshest in terms of her handle. I guess I'd like to see her just have a shot more dimension to her. I think especially to the center portion of her body. And when you get in behind her, I think she could offer just a shot more turn to the base of her stifle. Young ladies heifer, the Baldy that rounds out the class, a really balanced individual in her own right. To me, she's probably just the furthest along in terms of her condition. Maybe the stalest in terms of handle. I'd like to see her be a shot more descript and dimensional over her loin edge. So let's give those three exhibitors a nice round of applause.
In our second class of market heifers, first place went to Sawyer Van Breezen. Second, Dana Ditfurter, receiving a blue Danica post. We will now choose the champion and reserve champion market heifer.
I think a nice lineup of heifers out here for the market heifer division. I think there's probably two that sort up just in terms of overall muscle and market readiness. To me, there's probably one that handles just a shot fresher and maybe a shot more descript. Let's give these exhibitors a nice round of applause, and I'll select your champion reserve.
Exhibiting our champion market heifer was Sawyer Van Breezen, our reserve Katie Vandertop. Those two will come back and go for the overall champion market beef when we get finished after choosing the champion market steer. Entering the ring now will be our first class of market steers. Attention 4-H music exhibitors. Second tall, class 2, Market Steers. Second tall, class 2, Market Steers. First tall, class 3, Market Steers. First tall, class 3, Market Steers. And first tall, class 4, Market Steers.
Young man Sal Black steer wins this class pretty handily for me. Just in terms of overall muscle, when you grab him right out of the backside of his shoulder, he's bolder in his forerib. He handles square out of his loin edge, and I really like how stout and powerful he is out of his hip. Young man Shorthorn Mark Steer that comes in second here. A nice individual in his own right. I like his length of spine. I think he travels with plenty of flex at the surface. To me, I'd like to see him just have a shot more meat in him to move up any further in this class, but let's give those two exhibitors a nice round of applause.
In our first class of Market Steers, first place went to Jacob Vandentop and second Jackson Harmon. Entering the ring now will be our second class of Market Steers. for Class 3 market steers. Second call, Class 3 market steers. Second call, Class 4 market steers. We will need the first and the second class winners to go to the north end of the showroom for the choosing of the champion market steer.
I'm going to leave these three steers in the same order in which they came in. The young man's orange calf wins this class pretty handily. Really love how Sal featured this calf. He's really big boned, and he offers a tremendous amount of flex and reach off of both ends of his skeleton. When you get on top of him, he handles with a tremendous amount of shape out of the backside of his forerib and over his loin edge. Coming and going, he's really built pretty true and square to the ground. I think a calf that can stand some competition later in the day. The two individuals that are in second and third here in this class, I think it gets close in terms of muscle and in terms of overall dimension. For me, the young lady's black steer just ties it together in a more functional package. I think he's a shot looser spine. I think he travels with a little bit more freedom as he goes out the ring. And the young man's red steer that comes in third, a nice individual in his own right, just gives up a shot in terms of overall flexibility and balance to move up any further. But let's give those three exhibitors a nice round of applause.
In our second class of market steers, first place, Mason Rosenbaum. Second, Emily Vermeer. Receiving a blue, Jackson Harmon. Entering the ring now will be our third class of market steers.
I think a nice class runner to start off the class. The young lady's black and white steer works plenty of shape and dimension down his top line. I think he's extremely bold through the center portion of his body. And when you get him behind him, he's pretty stout out of his pin set. I think he wins this class pretty handily. The second and third, I think, is where it gets a little closer. You just have to ask yourself, does the second place calf have enough muscle? And to me, I think he does. And with that being said, I think he ties it together in a flatter, more attractive package. I really like how long and extended he is from the side. I think he offers a tremendous amount of flex and reach off of both ends of his skeleton. The young lady's heifer that comes in third definitely has an advantage over the second place steer just in terms of overall dimension. But for me, that steer is maybe just a shot too coarse through his front end. I think he needs to be a little flatter out of his shoulder. I'd like to see him set down a little softer off his rear skeleton. But let's give those three exhibitors a nice round of applause.
In our class 3 of our market steers, first place went to Haley Hardison, second Taylor Hardison, and receiving a blue, Dana Denherder. Entering the ring now will be our class 4 market steers. Attention, exhibitors, we need the first and second place market steers to the north end of the show ring. First and second place market steers from class 1, 2, and 3 to the north end of the show ring. We will need the champion market heifer and reserve champion market heifer for the choosing of the overall champion market beef to the north end of the show ring, please.
I think a nice single entry here in the heavyweight division. I really like this big frame steer. He's really square out of the backside of his shoulder, and I think he handles with a tremendous amount of shape and dimension. He's awfully stout featured. And to me, when you get him behind him, he's pretty wide based as well. I guess if I could change him a little bit, I'd maybe like to see him just a little more relaxed in his spine when set into motion. But I think a high quality steer in his own right. Let's give this young lady a nice round of applause.
Exhibiting our Class 4 market steer was Katie Vandenkamp. We will now be bringing the first and second place in for the choosing of the champion market steer, and then the champion market heifer and reserve champion market heifer will enter the ring, and we will choose the overall champion market beef.
I think there's a lot of quality out here for the market steer drive. I guess of that, I think there's probably 3 steers that excel in terms of shape and dimension and still having enough show ring presence. I think there's one calf out here that I just flat gets it done, and I'll select your champion reserve steer. Let's give these exhibitors a nice round of applause.
exhibiting our champion market steer was Mason Rosaphone, our reserve, Haley Halverson. They will stay in the ring, and we will bring in our champion and reserve champion market heifer and choose the overall champion market beef. As Sterling is doing our final overall champion market beef, I'd like us all to give him a round of applause for coming up to Sioux County and judging our show.
I want to thank everybody involved with the Sioux County Fair for giving me the opportunity to come down here and judge your cattle show. I've thoroughly enjoyed working with each and every one of the young exhibitors today. I think a really high quality lineup out here for the Grand Champion Market Animal Drive. To me, there's probably one that excels just in terms of show ring presence. I think one that puts it all together and probably the most complete package in terms of muscle and eye appeal and still being sound structured. So let's give these four exhibitors a nice round of applause. I'll select your champion reserve market animal.
Our overall champion market beef was exhibited by Mason Roosevelt, our reserve, Haley Halverson. Mason, you get to go to the Battle of the Blue Chips in the Northwest Iowa Showdown. So you'll be able to enjoy that. Thank you all so much for coming to our show. Hope to see a whole bunch of you tomorrow again.